Coach, if you could just start with a general statement about playing Illinois tomorrow, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Being someone that grew up in Illinois, I think it's great for Illinois basketball. I mean, you got two ranked teams going at it. Basketball, it's been a basketball passionate state. I know the city of Chicago is, I know Champaign is, and to see that, going for a ticket for the Sweet 16, it's I know there'll be a lot of eyes in basketball at the forefront, not only in our state, but in the country.
Great. If you have a question for Coach, please use the reaction button and we will call on you. We are going to start with Shannon Ryan from the Tribune.
Hi, Porter.
Hey, Shannon.
I wanted to hope you would expand a little more on what you started with there was this era from 2002 to 2007 and before, but in that era, like there was 2 or 3 teams every year from the state in the tournament. And I know you were coaching elsewhere in the state for part of that. Can you describe just kind of what that was like and the, excitement around that in the state, and then why you think that fell off for a while?
You know what? I do know when Illinois is represented in the tournament, the state is excited. And I've looked at that. I'm extremely excited that we've been a part of this now. And, I think that why it fell off, Shannon, I have no idea. I know for us, it's been a process. I told you knew this 10 years ago when I took over, we were Loyola-Chicago with 1 Illinois player on the roster, 1. And now we've had just a number of them make huge contributions, starting with Milton Doyle, Dante Ingram, obviously Lucas and Cameron Krublig, Marquise Kennedy are some huge ones for us right now. And Dante Ingram, just on and on, we've really made an effort. And the pride they have, Lucas and Crut, the pride they have to represent it, and Marquise, it's been really cool. And so I know they feel the same. I saw some comments about Iowa. I know Iowa feels the same, representing his state.
Do you feel like, kids are going to watch this tournament and think, okay, I don't have to go out of state. I can stay somewhere in state and have a good run, make the tournament?
That's been my message. It's going to be my message. So hope you tape this Zoom right here and send it out, because that's been my message for sure. There's some great programs here, and I feel we're one of them, and that's just so many good things. And now to have family and friends see you play. And, I think we're both playing a high level of basketball. They're playing an unbelievable level of basketball. I think I said this earlier. I played with Kenny Battle in the Prairie State games. And so I got to know Kenny. I remember following that Illinois team. And that was right after I got done playing with Creighton. And I'm just like, that team was spectacular to me. And then I was coaching against that team with Darren Williams that went on. And I felt they were just spectacular. And they just had a different feel about them. This team, watching this Illinois team, it has that kind of feel, that kind of feel. So they are an elite team. And the thing is, they're playing both ends. What are they? 8 offensively efficiency, 4 or 5 defensively, both in the top 10. That equates to, elite program.
Thanks.
We'll go to Josh Friedman next.
Hey, Coach. So Brad has talked about how it's a pick your poison when it comes to Io and Kofi and having that inside-outside game. So how do you go about your game plan for 2 All-American players?
He's right. He's right. Pick your poison. He's gone to a lot of ball screens, and he puts you in, they space you and they run a lot of ball screens. I remember Brad used to run the spread offense, and it just shows you how good a coach he is. He's adjusted because he puts you in a pick your poison situation with these ball screens. Are you going to watch the roll with Kofi? Or are you going to bottle up Io and Frazier and the shooters they got, and Corbello, who's an elite passer off ball screens, and they space you and they'll come at different angles and they'll hawk screen you. And, but it is, it's a really dynamic punch when you got an All-American guard and an All-American big together in a ball screen. It is a pick your poison situation. And, I think what also makes Kofi really special is he catches everything. He catches everything. And when you really try to funnel and try to stop the ball screen, they really just got to throw it up over the hands, and he gets everything. Just 2 elite players and, elite coach who's putting him in those situations that make you make decisions.
We'll go to Matt Zahn next.
Coach, you sort of touched on this a little bit here. Obviously, you guys have been great defensively all season, but I don't know if you played a team like Illinois. When a team has that many weapons, that much momentum, how difficult is it a task for your defense to try to slow them down?
Well, that's the challenge. That's the challenge our guys are ready to accept. And we've created a lot of things off our defense, and we got to be who we are. We got to be us. We're not going to change now. And it's just, just in life, you have different levels of challenges, and this is going to be a great challenge with that. And our guys are ready for it. But defensively, we're going to come out. I mean, I think Lucas and Ahir, those guys are elite defenders. Braden Norris. So, I know we won't be the biggest team out there, but I love how together we play. I love our schemes. We got a great challenge on us. And but here's the thing about the NCAA tournament: it's not a best of 7 series. It's not a best of 7 series. It's just a 1-game deal. And there's a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles you have to go into beating Illinois when they're this hot and this many weapons. No doubt about it. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here to compete and in advance. That's why you're doing this.
We'll go to Paul Sullivan next.
Hey, Coach. I don't think a lot of people know that Loyola is the only championship in Illinois history. Did the kids know much about that team? And I know it's irrelevant for this game, but do they take some pride in the fact that, they do have a history behind them?
100%. In 2018, I've had Jerry Harkness and all of them, that other team members speak to our guys for years about social justice issues, about what they went through. We've had these conversations with the 63 team for years. I was fortunate enough to go with them on the 50-year anniversary in 2013. It's my second year on the job. I got to go with them to Washington, D.C. President Obama had us in the office. And there's a great picture of us in his Oval Office. And I got to hang with those guys a couple days. The stories they told me of the things they had to go through. 2 separate hotels. I mean, it's crazy. They had to stay in 2 separate hotels. And that's been a big part of our story. It was, I'll be honest with you, unequivocally, Paul, it was more of a story in 2018, maybe because there's so many different side stories with the pandemic going on right now. But in 2018, there was many, many stories about the 63 team. They were here with us every step of the way. I hope more stories come about there in the next 48 hours or 24 hours, because Jerry's here. Jerry's from Indianapolis. With all the social justice issues in the world going on right now, the 63 team was the game of change. It was the game of change. In the state of Mississippi, our guys are well aware that it was the only national championship in the state of Illinois. Those guys give us messages all the time, and they are 100% woven into the fabric of who our program is.
Go to Abby Schnabel next.
Hey, Porter, I want to ask you about how your first game as head coach was against University of Illinois way back in 2011. Can you just talk about how much you've seen the program grow from that very first game, and now you're heading into the second round playing the team, not the same team, but playing the Illinois again?
So Joe Chrisman was a freshman, and then Christian Thomas was a freshman. Christian was the first. He was going to be an undersized 4-man that was going to be a walk-on at St. Louis, and I signed him because he was tough. So I inherited 1 point guard, and he tore his ACL before he even played a game. So Joe Chrisman is one of my all-time favorite tough players at Loyola. He just got his residency at Loyola Medical. He just texted me yesterday that he's coming back to Chicago. He started at point guard, and everyone on the screen is more equipped to play point guard than Joe. And so we had to play Joe at the point guard. Christian played the 2 guard. After that game, Christian never touched the ball on a ball screen the rest of his career. So we were guard depleted when we played there, and we kind of hung around for a little bit. I tell you, the Illinois game that eats my crawl the most, and it still sticks at my crawl, was when I was at Illinois State. We played that team with Darren Williams and everybody, and we were just starting to turn that program around. We were just in that process. And the game went into overtime, and Darian Williams went nuts. Look it up. He had 30-some points. His shoe fell off. They had they had all those guys. It was crazy. Went into overtime. I can tell you that game, that still eats my crawl. We got a terrible call. Go ahead and print it. We got a terrible call in overtime, and I think the line was like 27 and it went into overtime. And that game was what bothers me more. We were the one here, my first game, it was actually it was my first game as a Loyola head coach was Illinois. That is a crazy coincidence.
We'll go to Scott Ritchie next.
Hey, Porter, Scott from the Champaign News Gazette. We talked to Brad earlier today. He mentioned Cameron as, a challenge for his team as kind of a point center. I guess I was curious, your take on Kofi as a challenge for your team as a center, because I think that's the only thing you can describe him as.
It's hard to trap him. We play we have some really good centers in our league. Gage Prim, Elijah Childs, we have Fife from Northern Iowa, and they get it and they kind of wait for you to see what kind of defense. Are they going to run a trap at you? Are you going to dig? Or you got single coverage? Crut's the same way. A lot of teams trap in the post in the Missouri Valley, or they dig, and so you got some guys. He is very hard because the moment he catches it, instantaneously he's making his move. He's not probing to see what kind of defense he is. He's just going through whatever you do, whether you trap it, dig it. He's going, watch it. We've watched every post move. He catches it, and he's so good at a quick drop step, catching it. It's hard to trap him because you can't get the trap there, because the moment he catches it, he's instantaneously making his move. He carves out space. That was a Rick Majerus term. He carves out space and he shows his numbers. When he posts up in the funnel, we call the funnel the top of the key. When he posts up in the top funnels, he shows his numbers. Some guys are like this, posting up when the ball's up top. He rolls and he's like this, and he carves out space, and he's very hard to get on top of. And if you get on top of, then he keeps you up, riding up high to high-low, and then he catches everything. His size and his hands and his ability to get big are elite, and that's what makes the challenge. But he's not probing to see how you're going to play him. He's not sitting there waiting. Are you going to trap me? Are you going to dig me? Are you coming for all these? He's getting it, and he's going to do his move because he's going to make his move, and he's elite at it.
And you mentioned maybe having to pick your poison between Iowa and Kofi, but the last two games, at least for Illinois, Big Ten tournament championship game, 6 players in double figures. Yesterday, 4 in double figures, 2 with 8. How does that dynamic, maybe a growing dynamic, change things for you defensively, where could be anybody?
You can't be as good as they are, the number 2 team in the country, with 2 guys. They got 2 All-Americans, but they got some great players with them. Frazier, Miller, Corbello, Georgie. They got a list. Grandison. They got a number of guys that can shoot. Frazier, Corbello's an elite passer coming off these ball screens. He really finds Kofi. The way Miller and Frazier shoot it, Devon Williams. I mean, they got guys that can shoot it. So are you coming down on Kofi? But they're not. I mean, they got 2 All-Americans, rightfully so, but they got other pieces. They got other pieces that are very, very good.
Go to Cheryl Ray Stout next.
Hi, Porter.
Hi, sure.
With this game, there's so much talk about Illinois and Loyola. What's the level of excitement you're feeling from the players? You're going to have them harness that for tomorrow's game.
Oh, this is what I mean. The excitement of this being in the NCAA tournament, advancing. Those guys, we got to go outside today. We got our visit outside. We got out we walked in front of the JW Marriott, and you see your name advance. That's was so much. And so the level of excitement to compete, you're going to play elite teams in this tournament everywhere you advance. We played the SEC winner in Tennessee, second round last time. And Grant Williams was a first team All-American, for Tennessee. So we've been here before. And we know there's a level of excitement. We know we got to have a confident respect. I mean, and we do. You're not going to play bad teams. You're playing elite teams. So, but the guys are excited for that. I mean, this is how they're built. I mean, they're built they want the challenge. They want to play, and they know how good the challenges are in front of them. But they're excited, and you gotta harness it, but you also gotta let it go a little.
Thank you,
Coach. It looks like that's all the questions we have for you. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.